Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Death Note. Last time on Death Note, I believe we had Transfer. Didn't we? I think that was what it was called. What all happened last episode? All I remember was the animation. Light's plan to get Nier out in the open failed. And Aizawa called Nier about Light, and Nier figured out through context that Light is L and is Kira. And then there seemed to be another Kira who was killing like Demigawa and everyone on Kira's kingdom. And it turned out this is obviously all part of Light's plan. That we now have Teru Mikami, the hand of Kira, who has received Misa's death note, and Misa is now going to forget her memories and just be normal. And I'm pretty sure that's it for Misa in terms of being Kira. So yeah, that was basically that. And the animation was kind of hit and miss. So yeah, this is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. And this is also where I say that if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of Death Note, is unfortunately not in this video due to copyright issues that I've had in the past. So what you got to do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment on this video, and there will be a link there, and that will take you to the reaction, and you can watch that. Hopefully you can have a good time. And when you're done with that, I encourage you to pop right back over here to this YouTube video for the discussion. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Let's go ahead and get right into this episode of Death Note. Here we go. On the one hand, it's like I feel bad for Misa because Misa's being completely taken out of this operation. On the other hand, hey, she doesn't remember. She's not going to care. So but basically, Light has now divided Kira, the second Kira, Misa as Kira, into two people. The hand and the voice. Holy crap. Okay. What an episode. What an episode to lead us into the final five, too, Because this is it. After, next up, it's the final 5 episodes. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. He really has divided... He has divided the second Kira into two. The hand and the voice. Because, yeah, Misa kind of was taking both of those jobs. And now she has neither. Oh... I don't know, it's like, again, on the one hand, I do sort of feel bad for Misa. It's like, oh, she's not a part of this. On the other hand, it's like, you know what? Probably for the best. So long as Light doesn't kill her, you know what? I think it's alright for her. Alrighty. I actually wrote down a decent amount of notes. I wrote down 8 notes on this episode. A bit more than I normally do. So yeah, we can go ahead and pop right into it. The first thing I wrote down was Teru Mikami origin. Which, yeah, it kind of was. We got his origin, which was interesting. That, very interesting, this sense of justice, Which, honestly, it's like, okay, he has this sense of justice, but he is different from Light, Like, okay, he fits into the mold of Kira, but Light still is the mold. Let me explain that. Because, yeah, with everything like, oh, he got bullied as a kid, but he always stood up to them and stuff, and he always had this sense of justice, and there's only good and evil in this world, and humans fall either as good or as evil and stuff. Except that wasn't exactly what Light was. At least not in the beginning, because that's the thing, is when you really think back to it, like, you get Teru's origin in this, but when you think back to episode 1, which is Light's origin, it's not the same. You know? You kind of expect it to be when you think about it, but then no, you think about it and it's like, well, wait, no. What was Light's origin? Honestly, he was fine. He was kind of a normal kid, you know? It just so happened that he found the power of the Death Note, and if anything, the Death Note corrupted him. You know? It turned him into Kira. It brought out the worst in him. Whereas Teru Mikami, it's like, you would almost think like if he wasn't a prosecutor, he'd become a serial killer. You know? He'd be like the hero killer Stain in My Hero Academia, you know? It just doesn't... It's not the same, you know? With Light, that was the thing, you know? Which I think is why Light works the best out of all of them. Well, and honestly, that's why Misa works, you know? Is that they were just normal people that found the power of the Death Note, you know? With it, Light became Kira. Then, after, you know, Kira killed the man that killed Misa's parents, then Misa started to love Kira. So she got corrupted by Kira, then took the power and became the second Kira. You know? And Higuchi, he was a businessman. He was already a corrupt scumbag, but still. So, but that's the thing, is that with Teru Mikami, it's like, no, it's like all this justice and stuff, that had existed in him long before this ever occurred, you know? Whereas with Light, it just sort of brought out all of these, you know, thoughts and feelings in him, you know? That's, the Death Note was what created Kira. Kira wasn't already a thing before he found the Death Note, you know? So that is the difference, at least, between Teru and Light, so... Oh, boy. I also wrote down Fell Swoop. I thought, okay, this was kind of a coincidence. The coincidence I thought was very interesting, that he said in one fell swoop, all of his problems went away. Like, all of his high school bullies and his mother all died in the same accident. Now, the way they were saying it, maybe you guys can help me out with this in the comments, clarify this. Was this Kira? Was this Kira that actually did this? I don't remember. I don't fully remember. Like, I'm not sure, because, it kind of is. Kinda, but also kinda not. Like, because I feel like he would have been way too young, you know? Because Kira, he started out 5 years ago. Well, if Mikami is already a public prosecutor, then 5 years ago, I guess maybe it would have been the end of high school, so maybe that's when it could have happened, you know, just before he goes to university. I'll never get over these shows saying university. Just say college. It's so much easier, guys. But whatever. But yeah, so yeah, it's like, I feel like that would be way too much of a coincidence of, like, if it was Kira that killed the bullies, killed them. Like, why, especially 5 years ago, why would this have happened, you know? Because that's the thing, is only in the 5 years between the death of L and, you know, the conflict with Nier and Mello, only in those 5 years has this whole, you know, write the names online happen. And to be honest, we don't even know how much Light actually looks at that stuff, you know? So I feel like it's the coincidence, because he said later too. He said later, it's like, oh, it wasn't just a coincidence, it was Kira. It's like, dude, I think it was a coincidence. I think it was a coincidence, man. I think you're just, you know, assigning these coincidences to your god, basically. Being a public prosecutor, though, that did make the most sense, because I was like, what on earth does he do with all this, you know, like, hate and this sense of justice and stuff like that. Prosecutor, yeah, that makes sense. I get that. I wrote down hand. So yeah, he was recognized by his god, as he said, and he became the Hand of Kira, which, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it does make sense to get him. It is interesting, though, like, sort of, I don't want to say, like, the conflict, but the whole thing with, he's doing stuff on his own, Like, he's making decisions on his own, like, to kill Demigawa and everyone. Whereas, Misa wouldn't do that. She would only do something if Light commanded, Which, on the one hand, Light hated. Light hated that Misa couldn't do things on her own. On the other hand, you have to look at, well, sometimes Mikami goes a little bit too far, Where, killing the spokesperson of Kira and then naming someone else, Like, it all worked out, but, I don't know. That's tricky. But, yes, we did get the new Kira representative, the new voice of Kira. I don't remember her first name, but Takada. That's what I wrote down. So yeah, Takada, Light's old girlfriend. That is very interesting, and it's also interesting just the fact that it's like when he reveals himself, I am Kira, and you will be the goddess of this new world. It's like he's pulling the exact same thing he pulled with Misa. It's the same thing. He's doing the exact same thing. But here's the thing, is that it's almost as if... I almost feel like Takada may be a bit more not sophisticated was not the word I was trying to say. Submissive, that's what I was trying to say. Although, yes, she is a bit more sophisticated than Misa. He even says, oh, you're more intelligent, You're more intelligent than Misa. But, yeah, that's the thing, is that, like, when she learned that he was Kira, it's like, oh, this is the only man I ever admired, and she went right into it, and he was like, you will be the goddess of this new world, and it's like, yeah, I feel like she's almost a bit more submissive than Misa ever was, and Misa was, that's the thing, Misa was a submissive, but at the same time, she held her ground on a few things, mainly dating other girls, I feel like. That was it, And she said, if you date and if you see anyone, I will kill her, and then I will kill you. It's like, oh, geez. And she always said, from the beginning, she would say, like, if it doesn't matter, if Kira goes against me or anything, I have the Shinigami eyes, I can kill him. So it's like, now I feel like maybe she got more submissive over time, but that's the thing, is Takada is like right off the bat just completely submissive to him. So yeah, I don't know. And again, it's like I kind of go back and forth on, well, do we say poor Misa in this situation? It's like, well, no, because she's able to live a good life, So, I also like when it cut back to Mello, which first off, when it cut back to Mello, I was like, oh yeah, Nier and Mello are in this story, Like, I forgot about them. But I do like when it cut to Mello, and he's just like, this is the second Kira? She's so stupid. Oh, Misa gets such a bad rap, But I love her. I love Misa. She's so much fun, but... yeah, oh boy. But yeah, Takada, the new voice of Kira, as kind of randomly chosen, well, not randomly, but like as coincidentally chosen by Mikami, and Light's just like, alright, this could work out. I think this will work. Speaking of submissive, Mikami is also submissive, It's like he didn't need to be told twice that, he didn't need to know Kira's name, so... I wrote down new law. So, he just took over the world. He just completely took over the world, which, Light was saying, it's like, no, it's too early for that, Like, I need to talk to him. And that's the thing, it's like, Misa wouldn't do this, but Mikami does. That's the thing, it's like, yes, Mikami does stuff on his own, but he might go a little too far in some cases. But yeah, so Mikami declared the new law of Kira, which is pretty crazy. And honestly, yeah, it's like, and that's the thing, when that one guy is like, well, he's gonna kill lazy people now too, which, that is a little scary. I'm sure I would be on that list, it's like, oh, what do I do for society? Well, I sit in my room and I watch television. That's what I do for society. I bet you I would be on Kira's list. Or technically Mikami's list. So, yeah, that is a little like, oh boy. Well, granted, though, entertainers. Entertainers are necessary. Is he going to kill actors now next? No. But actors do a lot more than I do. I sit in my room and watch television for a very meager living, so... but yeah, the new law. But that was interesting. And then the meeting, which was pretty cool. First off, fucking Matsuda. Matsuda being like, the mood is all set. And it's like, dude, we're on an investigation here, man. Well, and also just the fact that it's like, oh, come on, you've never been in love. And it's like, isn't Light married? Or at least still dating Misa? It's like, come on, guys. So, but yeah. But that meeting was pretty cool. Especially when he just completely came out and said, I am Kira. It's like, oh shit. And then, yeah. So now Takada will be the goddess of the new world. Oh boy. She's honestly between Teru and Takada, the two of them are now Misa, It's like, all right, Kira's actions was, the second Kira's actions, that's Mikami. And the second Kira's voice, which Misa has had to call people before as Kira, that is now Takada. So he has basically divided the two different jobs that Misa used to do and gave it to two other people, basically. So, yep. And he's also divided up his lover, too. So yeah, now he has two. And again, it's like way more obvious even now that it's like, yep, he is just using her. If they bang and they have the dramatic banging scene that I have wanted for like 15 episodes now, if they have that, done with this, because that scene is what Misa deserves. And I probably screwed up the microphone by hitting the DVD, but whatever. Misa deserves that. And I have not seen it. And I will see it. I probably won't. And I probably won't see them do it either. So, yeah. That's pretty much that. We are down to the final 5, guys. The final 5 episodes of Death Note. Holy crap. That is pretty crazy. And, I don't know, man. I feel like we haven't built up enough to, like, take down Light, I feel like we're not there. I feel like we're not getting close enough to take him on, to take him down once and for all. So I'm getting worried that we're not actually gonna beat him. I do sort of feel like the only person that could have ever beaten Kira was L, and L is gone. So yeah, that is pretty much that. That's pretty much that. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Death Note reactions, You can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.